Welcome to another video from Resisting Boredom. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to tell you about, I'm going to tell you about 6 shows that are recent, that just either have been on or are just about to finish up, that you should watch. You should binge watch this summer to catch up for the fall or do whatever. And Kid is here today because he has not seen these shows.
And because I live here.
And because he lives here. And so I'm going to kind of like tell him about these shows, tell him if they're any good, and then he's going to tell me if he plans on checking them out at all. Maybe not, but we'll find out. Alright?
Alright.
So, first show on my list, and probably the best show to me of all the new shows. Actually, no, it's the best new show. True Detective.
Fucking up way too much.
And maybe that's the problem. True Detective. Alright? This is the best new show on TV. This is probably in my top 5 shows in general right now. Okay? Again, probably talking it up too much. Yeah, let's see. How can I pitch this? It is weird. It's a little slower paced, though. That's the warning I'd give you. It's not fast paced. It's a little slower paced, but it's excellently written, excellently directed, excellently acted in. Both McConaughey and Harrelson and Michelle Monaghan and everyone in the show is great. Okay. There's a little bit of a supernatural element that doesn't quite come to fruition. So if you're worried about it being ridiculous, yeah, it's more of a implied or sort of weird. Because Russ Cole, the main character that's Matthew McConaughey, is odd. Okay, he's weird, but in the best way possible and the most entertaining way possible. Okay, and so sometimes he'll see things, or maybe he'll be on drugs, or yeah, it's weird like that. But it takes place in Louisiana, kind of a different area for these sort of stories. There is an excellent ending shot in episode 4, I think it was. That's like 6.5 minutes straight of single shot, awesome action sequence escape. Like one long shot lined up. Amazing. And if you don't plan on ever watching True Detective, just look up that shot. Okay? Just at least watch that because it's so damn impressive. Alright? So, to me, this is the best show on, new show. I think, once again, this is why HBO is so freaking popular and why their shows do so well. And I think it's a show that everyone should at least check out. It might not be your thing, so I'm not going to tell you it's for everyone, but if anything that I just said sounds good, you should at least check it out. Alright? So what are your thoughts on True Detective? Do you have any questions about it?
I heard that McConaughey and Harrelson working together is actually pretty interesting.
It's awesome.
And
they're really good together.
I heard there are like mentions of, I think it's the Man in Yellow or the God in Yellow.
The Yellow King.
Yellow King, that was it.
The King in Yellow.
They mentioned a bunch of times, and that's actually a Cthulhian character.
It's a Lovecraft thing, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of interested in that. I also heard that it can be a bit slow.
I said the pacing is a little slow.
People have said people. At least one other person, I can't remember who it was, told me about they actually saw it and they kind of thought that it was a bit too slow for them in general. And yeah, that kind of turns me off a little bit. But then again, some people say Game of Thrones is slow.
That's true.
I'm kind of torn between it.
I think the first episode. You have to get into this show. Like, if you watch the first episode and are kind of like, I'm not so sure about it, keep going at least for another episode or two. Yeah. Because you start to get into the flow of things and how things work in the show and all that kind of stuff.
From what I can gather from people I know, I'll probably really enjoy this show. But I'm just kind of just pussyfooting around with it because I'm like, I don't really know if I really want to get into it. For some reason, there's that part of me, and just...
Okay.
It might just be a waste of time, almost.
Did what I say sound interesting? Did it sound like something you might want to check out?
Didn't know there were action scenes.
There are some sweet... The 6-minute scene is so good. I've rewatched it on the internet several times.
I've seen posts about some of the things that Matthew McConaughey's, his rants.
His lines and stuff? Yeah, he has excellent lines.
Yeah.
He has excellent lines.
So I'll probably at least give this a watch before the year's over.
Okay, cool. And you don't even have to, really, for Season 2, because it's a whole new story, different cast, and all that kind of stuff.
I still got HBO Go.
Still,
I can watch it.
But still, it's definitely worth checking out, especially, if you're interested in what will probably win Emmys and awards and stuff, then yeah. So, next, I'm going to keep it with HBO. The next new show that you should watch or check out or whatever, which has 1 episode left and it'll be on this weekend. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be done. And that's Silicon Valley. It is the new show, comedy show, from Mike Judge. So
didn't know that.
King of the Hill, Office Space, Beavis and Butthead, Idiocracy, that guy. It's his new show. It has a lot of comedians in the cast. They're all really funny. Guys you may recognize but aren't necessarily like stars of things. You know, like Martin Starr and T.J. Miller and Kumail Nanjiani, stuff like that.
Okay, that one I don't know.
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani is awesome. Anyways, so it's a good cast. It takes a comedic look at the tech world. So, you know, like the sort of like iPhone conferences and Google and all, you know, all that kind of stuff. It kind of is all centered around that ecosystem, right? The technology and, you know, making the next best thing, getting bought out for millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff. That's what it centers around, but there's some really cool comedic things. There's some vulgar things. It's mainly about the way the characters interact. The way the group of guys interacts, like in the house or while they're working on something, really funny. There's some interesting little, you know, events that'll happen here and there, or they'll be trying to do this for the company or whatever. Some clever stuff, some really cool stuff. But yeah, it's a comedy. It's funny. I find myself laughing quite a bit. It's not like a typical network comedy. So, you know, it's not like watching Big Bang Theory or nothing. Not to slight Big Bang Theory, but, you know, there's no laugh track. It's not your typical sitcom setup sort of thing. It's more of an HBO style. So, yeah, it's been really good so far. There's one episode left. What are your thoughts on Silicon Valley after hearing a little more about it?
Quite interesting. It's made by Mike
Judge.
Because I tend to enjoy his shit, so that kind of has me interested. I've seen like a very small bit of it after recording Game of Thrones because I fast forward and then like I'll watch the preview and then I just let it run and then it just comes up and I'm like, this looks somewhat interesting. I mean, what is it? Pretty much like some guys decide they're just going to make software or some shit in their garage.
The basic premise is a guy comes up with his own sort of program thing, but there's an algorithm in there that a couple giant tech guys want to use basically and expand upon.
Okay.
So they're building this company around this algorithm basically.
Oh. Alright. Well, sounds interesting. It's comedy, which HBO does pretty good comedies. So.
I mean, HBO's quality in general.
Yeah.
Not that we're at all affiliated with HBO, but
I'm a bit upset at HBO for canceling fucking Deadwood when they did, or not letting Deadwood go, keep going, or Rome keep going after 2 or 3 seasons.
Well, all of these shows I'm going to mention are already coming back. Like they pretty much already announced.
I figured there's no reason to bring this up.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time.
Otherwise, we bring up Almost Human.
Yeah, otherwise Almost Human will be mentioned because it was a good show.
Go see Almost Human and watch it in order because they didn't fucking play it in order. So there you go.
Alright. Anyways, so interested in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that.
Alright, so I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Granted, these have been easy.
Well, these first 2 I've heard about.
They're HBO shows.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
well, I mean, like the first I've heard about. This one I just thought seemed interesting. But
alright, next I'm going to take us into network TV, a place where a lot of people have a hard time finding good, solid shows that they want to watch. And I'm going to bring up Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It just came out this last season. It's the Andy Samberg, Andre Braugher, a bunch of other people, Terry Crews, a bunch of people in this show. It is a cop comedy, so that can scare some people off. I understand all that. But it's made from some of the guys that did like Parks and Recreation and stuff. So it's that style humor. So
that explains a bit.
It's like Parks and Recreation, except for it's in a precinct, cop precinct and stuff. It's well written. The jokes are funny. They're good. There'll be little things underneath the surface, through lines through the season. But mainly, it's the cast their chemistry together is really good. They play off of each other well. Andy Samberg and Andre Braugher, their stuff is excellent. Like their whole relationship. One's the captain. One's like the goofball of the precinct. Really, really good stuff. It started out fairly funny. But it kind of got better as the season went on. Kind of like Parks and Recreation or The Office before it and those kind of shows. Sometimes they need to find their footing. I'd kind of say the same about Silicon Valley, too, a little bit. Like, it kind of found its way a few episodes in. It's the same way with this. I think that's how a lot of comedies work, so that's not that surprising. But, yeah, if you like Parks and Recreation, if you like Andy Samberg, if you like all of that kind of stuff, I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a show to check out. And it's definitely the best comedy of the new season. And new comedies on network TV, very hard to come by. So you should support this one because it's one of the few that's actually good. So, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, what are you thinking?
I actually, honestly, when I first heard it was coming out, thought, okay, this is going to be canceled. So to actually hear that it's actually
coming back
pretty
for season
good, or that it's not doing bad, and it actually got taken up for another season, is really surprising me. Then you said the whole, like, the same people who wrote or created Parks and Recreation.
Michael Schur or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like, damn, Parks and Recreation is a good show.
It's a great show.
Terry Crews, always funny.
Terry Crews is good.
Andy Samberg, honestly, is at times hit and miss for me.
True, he can be. That's only when he's doing Sandler films, though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of willing to give this a try, but I'm kind of afraid with cop comedies on Fox a little bit because of.
I can understand the apprehension.
What was the one with Colin Hanks was in?
Oh, the crap! Something of the guys, right?
Yeah. It's like.
I want to say the other guys, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't the other guys. It was like. It was like you'll probably find the picture of it.
Yeah, I'll find.
It's got the older guy from fucking Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, Bradley Whitford and Colin Hanks. Yeah,
like doing
a decent show. The Good Guys.
Good Guys. That was Good Guys. Great show.
Well,
liked it.
It was an okay show.
I found it funny as hell, and it just did not last long at all.
Well, this is better.
Yeah,
I would say that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm still hesitant. Hey, fucking like, yeah, I'm not gonna bring up Wolfson again. But just in general, I might be willing to give it a try.
Well, like Andy Samberg won, I think, the best comedic actor Golden Globe from the show. So but in first year, that's pretty damn impressive.
Awards mean nothing to me. It just means that.
I'm just saying.
All that says to me is okay. That's a reason right there. They would just keep on going with the show.
You might not care, but someone out there might care.
Good for you. You actually believe there's some merit in awards.
It's going to be on Sundays this fall, though. It's going to be on in between The Simpsons and Family Guy. So. If you were looking for it next season.
I'm surprised those two things are still going myself.
Yeah. So, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Alright, next is probably it is the biggest new show of the season on network TV.
I know where you're going with.
It was the most highest rated, whatever, show, very popular. And that's The Blacklist.
Oh, that's actually not where I thought you were.
Oh, surprised you. The Blacklist surprised me. Okay, I went into it kind of apprehensive. I was like, this looks kind of interesting, but it mainly looks interesting because of James Spader. Nothing else about the show looked that interesting to me. But there is more to it. Alright? Yes, James Spader is definitely the draw here. He's fucking awesome in this show. Playing the, like, bad guy working with the FBI sort of thing. And he still gets to be kind of an evil bastard. So it works. It has Harry Lennox, I think is his name. The dude from Man of Steel, who was in Dollhouse. The army leader in Man of Steel. In Dallas, he was the security guy. Anyways, lost you. Yes.
Alright.
I didn't want to be racist, but if you want to go...
No, it's like...
No, he is a black gentleman,
being in Man of Steel.
Oh yeah, he was the, like, army leader or whatever. I don't remember exactly what
it's been a while since Man of Steel.
Anyways, he's in it. He plays the head of the task force. I can't think of her name right now, but the main chick in it or whatever... She's pretty good. Her hairstyles get weird through the show, but that has nothing to do with the quality of the show. That's just a weird thing that bugs me.
That's just women changing their hairstyles.
Yeah, that's just the thing that bugs me. But anyways, there's a lot of like intrigue and sort of what is really going on under the surface here. It's very mysterious, right? And things going on. There's definitely more to it than you get on the surface, and as the season rolls out, you learn several of those things. They gotta keep some stuff open, obviously, because it's coming back, obviously. It is hugely rated. It is like NBC's highest rated show other than The Voice, or something like that. Like, it does well. And even when The Voice left, it still did well. So, it doesn't need The Voice to get good ratings. So, it'll be around for a while, I think. Joe Carnahan.
Till they plug it up.
Joe Carnahan is one of the producers of the show, the guy who did the A-Team and Smokin' Aces, I think, and some other things. The Gray. He did The Gray. Anyways, he directs the pilot, and I think he might direct a couple of other episodes. But anyways, he helps work on it. But yeah, it's just a really good show, and I wasn't expecting it to be a really good show. It was a show that I kept up with throughout the season, didn't get behind on at all. It didn't sit in my DVR because I was kind of excited to watch it, and you want to keep up on it because you don't want things spoiled for you, that sort of stuff. But yeah, definitely worth checking out, and a surprise new show for me. So, Blacklist. What do you think of the Blacklist? Having never watched it,
I actually probably would never have known anything about it if it hadn't been for Casey, at least.
Oh, Casey watched it?
No, Casey watched it. He told me about the.
It's a good show.
Well, because he was like, "Oh yeah, I just watched the Blacklist before I picked you up," and I was like, "Oh, well, what's that about?" And he told me that like the premise of the whole thing, like pretty much he walks into the FBI headquarters, gives his name, says, "This is my name," then takes like 10 steps back, takes off his jacket, gets on his knees, takes off his shoes,
that is the opening.
On his head, and I was like, okay, what's the whole premise to it?
And then he works a deal.
He was like, yeah, it's pretty much that he used to be like a government agent of some sort, and he had
mainly he is like a FBI most wanted list guy. He gives himself up and says, "You can arrest me, or you can work with me, and we will take down all of the other hugely evil people in the world."
I thought he was like an ex-government agent or something.
I don't know. It's mysterious.
But yeah, it's mysterious. He came out of nowhere. He's on their FBI most wanted list, and he wants to give them the information, but they have to have his daughter present or something like that.
We don't really know all of
whatever. I never actually saw it. I'm just this is pure.
Look,
just that's why I gave an impression of. But
right from the beginning, it seems like she's probably his daughter. I don't even remember if the show clarified whether he is or not.
Well, anyway, it sounded interesting to me.
But that shouldn't sway you though. The whole "is he your father" thing.
No.
That's not
the idea that it was just he's a criminal. Essentially, like a fucking highly sought after criminal.
He still kills people. He still does.
And he's just going in like to the FBI and says like I want to help you get these guys. You know,
but I have to work with this chick.
Yeah, let me work with this one chick, and we could do this, no problem. And that honestly just sounds interesting to me. Like just great cases, like the case of the week sort of deal.
Yeah, it's better than most case of the week things. And also, you get yourself some Alan Alda. Okay, Alan Alda on TV.
Because people need more Alan Alda.
Alan Alda's awesome, man.
You didn't see Canadian Bacon, did you?
No. Alright.
Then don't.
So, that was the Blacklist. Sounds like, thanks to, I guess, pre-hand Casey talking about it, as well as...
I was interested, but I was already so many episodes that I couldn't, like...
They'll go fast.
I couldn't go back and rewatch it. So.
Yeah. So, that was the Blacklist. Next is a show that just recently came on, not that long ago. I know it was a show you were kind of interested in, but you missed it. So now I'm going to try to sell you on why you should go back and try to watch it, and that is The 100. It is a CW show. That may come as a shocker that I'm pressing for a CW show to be watched or given a chance, but I guess not that surprising. We watch Arrow, you watch Supernatural, so...
Yeah. I watched Smallville when it was on.
Yeah.
Now they got his Vampire Diaries and some other stuff.
I've heard Vampire Diaries is good, but that's not what this is. This is The 100. It is the storyline of nuclear weapons have devastated the Earth, making it uninhabitable. Humanity survives on a space station hovering around the Earth. They have to be up there for so many hundreds of years before they can go back down. And basically they're in trouble. They need to find out if they can go back to Earth, so they send all of the miscreant youth. So all of
criminal kids.
Yeah, all the criminal teenagers.
About them.
Yeah, all the criminal teenagers. They send them down to check out if it's good or not. That's the basic premise of the show. So it's an interesting premise. The show has oftentimes been described as very Lord of the Flies, and based on everything I've heard, yeah, it's kind of like Lord of the Flies. It reminds me of Lost in a good way. And not just because Henry Ian Cusack or whatever is on it, the guy who was Desmond, he's on this show.
Oh, okay.
Not just because he's on it. That's not the only reason. It kind of reminds me of Lost. There is another group of survivors, all that kind of stuff.
If he was in something
it's surviving in a forest, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's where I mainly got the idea.
Kind of Lost-ish, but it's much better written. And the storylines are much more interesting than they should be for a teenage CW show. This is a sci-fi show, alright? It doesn't hide the fact that it is. Almost every episode starts with the precursor of, I was born in space.
Oh yeah,
okay?
I keep on seeing those.
Yeah, if you watch Arrow,
after Arrow, I'm like,
Arrow, every time it starts is I was born in space.
I'm like, fuck, they're showing this scene again with the chick drawing on the floor in chalk. And her cleavage is right there.
Okay, that's a CW
for a few
thing.
Seconds.
That's a CW thing, but because they're beautiful people. that's kind of just how CW rolls. But anyways, it shouldn't just be taken at face value like that. It is actually a well-done sci-fi show with some interesting premises, interesting things that happen, twists and turns, and it's not boring. It kind of moves pretty steadily. It's just a lot better than you'd think, especially for a lot of people who hear CW show. Why would I want to watch a CW show? But this one deserves a chance, right? I think you should check it out. So, based on what I just said, what are we thinking for the 100? I know you were interested, and then you missed it.
Well, I was interested in the sense of, like, I'll give it an episode. I'll watch the first episode. And then I forgot to record it, and I said, fuck it. I'll watch it if it comes to something that I can watch it on. Like Amazon Prime, Netflix,
I get
TV, just Amazon Prime and Netflix. If it came on one of those, I'd probably watch it. But
maybe the CW app.
It didn't really buy me a hell of a lot. Like the trailer for the whole show, like kids set down to Earth, try to live. Some of them were like, fuck the parents, we'll just live here ourselves. And eventually, oh shit, we're not the only survivor. There's actually survivors in the planet or whatnot. We're not alone. And it's like, alright.
So that took you off?
It seemed cheesy.
Okay.
But some of the things you said kind of interest me somewhat. If you're a sci-fi show, I'm kind of...
I wasn't huge so much on what you're saying with the whole... Fuck the parents, we're gonna fuck this shit up. I wasn't that happy about that, and that was more in the beginning of the show. That doesn't last that long.
Good.
Because at a certain point things happen, and they kind of realize, wait, this ain't gonna work like this. We do need them to actually come down.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this is a much smarter show than you'd think. If it was just gonna be rebellious youth the whole time...
That's what I was afraid of.
That would not be good, but that's not it.
CW kind of figures.
That is a group of them that feel that way, and probably the more hardcore criminals of the group are probably the ones that feel that way. You know, the ones that they mainly don't want them down there because they don't want to just be arrested right away again.
Yeah.
But that's not everyone down there.
I figured.
And eventually even those people have to admit, wait, we're kind of fucked here, we need those people. So
I'd still give it a chance if I had the ability to watch it for free. If I had the ability to watch on a service that I was already paying for, then yes, I would watch it again.
Or you'd try it again.
Or I'll try to watch it. I'd give it a watch.
Yeah, I think it's worth a try at least. Especially for like sci-fi and things like that.
Or if the season was selling for like $20, I might just give it a $20 chance.
I would consider buying it for $20.
I mean, like, Blu-ray, $20.
There are some things I wouldn't mind watching the show again.
I remember when things used to be $20, like for like a season.
Yeah.
Lost. The first season was $20.
If you wait, you can get all this stuff for $20 or less. You just have to wait. If you're patient, you can get any Blu-ray or DVD thing you want for cheap. You just have to be patient.
But CW hasn't failed me with their sci-fi shows.
They're at least being they're really getting into the genre shows, and this is just another example. So, and yes, it's coming back for next season. So
I wish Birds of Prey was still going. Boom, I said it.
So if you're worried about the show being canceled, it is at least coming back.
twirl his cape.
It's at least coming back for another season, and even without Arrow right now, it's doing about the same numbers as it was. So it's holding people's attention. Yep. So it's coming back. You should check it out. Finally, I'm going to talk about another show that just recently started. Only has, I think, a couple episodes left. Kind of works like True Detective from what I hear. It is Fargo. It is a show that you probably are thinking of the Fargo. If you don't watch the show already, you're probably thinking of the movie Fargo. Kind of similar premise, right? It follows a, Minnesota
very big at
kind of big mystery sort of thing with cops investigating a crime and all that kind of stuff.
North Dakota.
Fargo is in North Dakota, but the movie and the show both mainly take place in a small town in Minnesota.
I guess it does.
Yeah. So
that's what they talk like Canadian.
Sure. Hopefully we don't sound like we're from.
We're not that close.
Area.
We're not that fucking close.
I don't think we do, but people up there might think we do.
The people down here people here are too Midwestern. Like, oh yeah, look, God, that is Canadian. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not us. We don't say oh yeah, but anyways,
I wasn't born
Fargo.
here. No.
Fargo. This is a show that the Coen brothers don't make this show. They didn't write it. They don't direct it.
But they did give.
They gave them their blessing. They produced the show, so they are involved in some way, even if it's not as much as people would mainly think. But, hey, it impressed them enough to let them do it. So obviously there's something here. It's well written, well acted. The cast is great. Billy Bob Thornton he's like the main antagonist, I guess, of the show, but excellent, right? He has an excellent role and he's doing well in it. So that's worth watching. Colin Hanks is great as one of the police officers going after him. Martin Freeman is playing a different role than we're used to. This isn't Watson or Bilbo Baggins. This is, northern Midwestern guy. He plays kind of the William H. Macy role, basically, in this story.
I figured.
So, yeah. And Alison Tolman, the newcomer, who hasn't been in anything, really. This is like her first big role. She's really great as like the lead cop, kind of investigating this stuff. So, yeah, great cast. It's well written. Interesting things happen. The first episode is like an hour and a half episode. It's kind of slow in the beginning-ish, but it builds up. Towards the end, you're kind of like, wow, actually, I'm interested now in seeing the next episode. And from there, things move a lot faster. So it just takes a little bit to get into, which I guess some could say about the original Fargo too. There are some things in this show that relate to the movie Fargo. So you'll see some things that you're like, oh hey, didn't that have to do with the movie? Yeah, there are a couple, outside, not major storyline parts, but some little things that you're like, oh hey, that kind of sounds familiar or whatever. That's in there. Yeah, it's FX. FX does solid shows. Like, there are a few FX shows that I either am not interested in or aren't good. So it's nice that, FX has a quality to them that you can rely on for the most part. But, yeah, Fargo's a great show so far. There's a couple episodes left. And next season, supposedly, I heard it's going to be another case, another cast, all that sort of stuff. Like True Detective, we mentioned in the beginning of this video. So, Fargo, what do you think of the show Fargo?
Fargo suffered from the same thing as 100 for me. I missed the first episode, so I just kind of said, fuck it. I'll watch it whenever it comes on, and I'll just binge watch it then. I kind of wanted to watch it because I really enjoyed the movie Fargo. I enjoyed it. And I was kind of curious how they were going to actually turn it into a show. Mm-hmm. Because I had no fucking clue how they were going to turn that into a show. I'm looking forward to seeing Martin Freeman in there using his American accent.
You get used to it really fast. He's pretty good at it.
I've heard good things about Billy Bob Thornton.
I really like Billy Bob Thornton in it.
But at the same time, I'm kind of done with Billy Bob Thornton a bit.
Well, then you maybe should check it out just to be surprised at that part of it.
But yeah, I'm somewhat interested to at least give it a try.
All right, cool. I like the movie. I didn't see the movie until recently. I kind of in preparation for the show. Yeah,
probably didn't need to.
Hearing about the show, I was like, I want to watch the movie now. Well, I've always wanted to watch the movie.
But did you feel you need to watch it in preparation for the show?
No, but I'm kind of glad I did because, like I said, there are little crossover events. So I was glad I watched it for that. You don't need to. So if you think you need to, you don't need to. It's a different case. Different timeline because this takes place in 2006, whereas the other one was 95 or something?
Yeah,
I don't remember. Anyways, this is later in time, Anyways, yeah, I think I might like the show better than the movie. If that's surprising at all. I don't know. I'm always hit or miss with Coen Brothers stuff, so maybe it's not that surprising.
I enjoyed Steve Buscemi in the movie.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi was great. Him and Peter Stormare were great in the movie. But,
is that the guy, the smoking guy?
That was the guy that was putting people in the wood chipper.
Huh.
The guy who was from Prison Break and a bunch of other movies.
Yeah, I know. He's the token Russian guy who was in
he was the devil in Constantine.
He was in the Brothers Grimm. And,
yeah, he pops up all the time.
He was Uli from fucking...
yes.
Yeah.
Big Lebowski. Yes. Yeah. Alright, so anyways, those have been 6 shows, new shows that are only 1 season in or less on a couple of these. They're not quite done. That you should check out. You can binge watch. You can...
Binge watching is good.
Find your own nefarious internet ways of watching them if you have to. Whatever it takes. These shows deserve your attention, at least a trial. Try them out. Watch an episode, a couple episodes, whatever you're willing to give it. Because we need to support good TV. Right?
But if you're watching nefariously completely, you're not really supporting it.
Well, that's true. But you will if you then watch it later.
Yeah, go buy the special fucking edition season release.
Yeah, maybe you'll love it.
That has all the special features that you might enjoy.
Yeah. Look, Game of Thrones is the most pirated show on TV, yet its ratings rise every single time. There's a reason.
Yeah, I have HBO Go where I can watch them anytime. I still buy the Blu-ray simply so I can hear the commentary. Because usually around the 9th episode you have George R. R. Martin doing fun commentary about the episode. I'm kind of curious what he has to say.
You also get a higher quality version of the show because, it's not run through a cable stream. It's straight from the Blu-ray. But anyways,
that too.
We don't need to talk about Game of Thrones Blu-ray sets. You probably already own them. Because
if not, then you probably didn't really give Game of Thrones a chance.
But these shows, give a try. Hopefully, it'll show you that there's some good stuff on TV still, even if a lot of it is on cable. There are a couple gems on network TV and things that should be supported. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some ideas. If you already watch all of these shows, then good for you. You're awesome. But if you don't, then hopefully there was something in here to get your attention. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking now. This is about resisting boredom. And yeah, check out these shows.
Stupid!
Mrs. Doubtfire. That'll be the next show, right? That'll be made into movie made into a show.
You know who'd be really good for that?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for that. He's not doing anything now. Yeah.
His show got canceled.